House will be in order. All those not having privileges to the floor will please vacate the chamber. Members and guests will please rise. In lieu of prayer today, we are joined by Liam Farley, who will be playing Amazing Grace and Country Roads. He is the guest, the gentleman from the 24th delegate, Radiguero. Members and guests will please remain standing as we're led in the Pledge of Allegiance by the gentleman from the 24th Delegate Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Wow. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Members and guests may be seated. Gentleman from the 58th.
Mr. Speaker, I request a roll call to establish the presence of a quorum.
Gentleman 58th requests a roll call to establish the presence of a quorum. All members present, please vote aye. Clerk, prepare the machine. Has every member voted? If so, the clerk will close the machine and ascertain the result. On this question, 90 members present, a quorum is established. Reading the journal.
Journal of the House of Delegates, Charleston, Monday, June 5th, 2017.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from the 50th Delegate Ward.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that the further reading of the journal be dispensed with and that it be approved as having been read.
Gentleman from the 50th asks unanimous consent that further reading of the journal be dispensed with and it be approved as having been read. Is there objection? Chair hears none. Journal is approved as having been read. Introduction of guests. Reports of standing committees.
Your Committee on Health and Human Resources has had under consideration Senate Bill 1014 relating generally to physician assistants. Reports the same back with amendment with the recommendation that it do pass as amended.
Report be received. Gentleman from the 58th.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent the bill be taken up for immediate consideration and read first time.
Gentleman 58 asks unanimous consent the bill be taken up for immediate consideration and read a first time. Is there objection? Chair hears none. Clerk, please read the bill first time.
Senate Bill 1014.
Bill be advanced.
Your Committee on Health and Human Resources has had under consideration House Bill 117 relating to West Virginia Healthcare Authority. Reports the same back with amendment with the recommendation that it do pass as amended and that it be referred to the Committee on Judiciary.
Report be received. The bill be referred to the Committee on the Judiciary.
Your Joint Committee on Enrolled Bills has examined, found truly enrolled, and on June 6, 2017, reported to His Excellency the Governor for his action, Senate Bill 1010, relating to Volunteer Fire Department Workers' Compensation Premium Subsidy Fund.
Report be received. Reports to select committees. Messages from the Executive. Messages from the Senate. Resolutions. Petitions. Motions. Bills introduced. Unfinished business. Bills on third reading. Bills on second reading. Bills on first reading. Leaves of absence. Gentleman from the 58th.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. For our colleagues, Delegates Bates, A. Evans, Fast, N. Foster, Hill, Holland, Markham, Moy, Williams, and Wilson.
Without objection, leaves will be granted. Remarks by members of the House. Gentleman from the 39th, Delegate Walters.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. By ways of remarks, I'd like to make sure everyone knows they're invited to a barbecue caucus right after session. Thank you very much. In my office.
Further remarks by members. Lady from the 16th, Delegate Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know everyone in this room appreciates all of the people who guard our wonderful country, who protect us, be it locally, nationally, or all over the world. Many of those same people suffer from PTSD, and I'd like you all to just take a moment to put them in your hearts and raise them up and stand with me for a silent moment.
All members and guests will please stand for a moment of silence. Members and guests may be seated. Further remarks by members. Miscellaneous business. Gentleman from the 58th.
Mr. Speaker, subject to announcements, I move the House adjourn until 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Are there announcements? Gentleman from 35th, Delegate Nelson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Republican members of House Finance shall meet at 3 p.m. in the chairman's office. And at 4 p.m., the Democratic members of House Finance shall meet in the chairman's office. Thank you.
John I'm sorry.
And if you all would bring your budget documents in any papers. Thank you.
John from the 51st, Douglas Stadler.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Education will meet at 2 p.m. today in the Education Committee room for the presentation regarding the Every Student Succeeds Act. The agenda has been posted.
Further announcements.
Yes,
John
Mr.
from the
Speaker.
58th.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, Mr. Speaker, I'd ask unanimous consent to comments from the Lady of the 16th. Moment of silence be printed in the appendix of the Journal.
Without objection, remarks be printed in the appendix of the Journal.
Thank you. And Mr. Speaker, the Post-Audits Committee meeting today, scheduled for 1 o'clock, has been delayed and rescheduled for 2 o'clock today. Post-audits pushed back till 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Further announcements. If not, the question before the House is a motion by the gentleman from the 58th that the House stand adjourned until 1 p.m. tomorrow. All in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Declare the House adjourned until 1 p.m. tomorrow.